Welcome to the This Week in Astrology video forecast. This is episode number 60 for the first half of January 2016. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Benjamin Bernstein of astroshaman.com, coming to you from Asheville, North Carolina. I'm an astrologer, shamanic healer, and awakening activator, and it's my pleasure to bring you these semi-monthly astrology forecasts. What's new during this forecast period? We have Mercury Retrograde and a new moon, both focused in Capricorn, highlighting the first half of January. The Uranus-Pluto square's energy of revolutionary transformation is revitalized by the new moon, and a Venus-Jupiter-Chiron T-square opens the door to relationship healing, plus many more high-side astrological opportunities. What's old as we come in? A waning moon. So let's move to our individual days of the forecast. On Friday, January 1st, Mercury makes a brief visit to Aquarius, January 1 through 8. Why so brief? Well, there can only be one reason: Mercury Retrograde. I'll be telling you more about Mercury Retrograde in a moment, but with Mercury in Aquarius now, it's easier to engage in outside-the-box thinking. You're also more likely to get more intuitive flashes. It's a great time to express your unconventional thoughts. That's because Mercury represents rational thought, while Aquarius sends down lightning strikes of intuitive knowledge. Perhaps that's why the Aquarius symbol looks like twin lightning bolts. On Saturday, January 2nd, your ability to get things done can be magically energized with the Sun quintile Mars. That's the Sun, 12 Capricorn, Mars, 29 Libra. On Sunday, January 3rd, quintile magic carries on from yesterday with Venus quintile Jupiter. That's Venus 5 Sagittarius, Jupiter 23 Virgo. This aspect can lend a magical quality to relationships and can help you be more creatively adventurous. Also, on Sunday, January 3rd, Mars transits Scorpio today through March 5th. This placement fires up transformative inner work, occult practices, and sacred sexuality. Mars in Scorpio can also fuel research, investigation, and joint ventures. Scorpio is the sign of great wealth, so this placement can be great for making money. We have no major astrology events on Monday, January 4th. On Tuesday, January 5th, Mercury turns retrograde at 8:05 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time at 1 degree, 2 minutes Aquarius. The Winged Messenger will turn direct again on January 25th at 4:49 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. At that point, he'll be at 14 degrees, 54 minutes Capricorn. And I just said he. In fact, Mercury is considered a hermaphrodite. He is both sexes. You'll have a few days to reflect on Aquarian themes after January 5th. These include: am I expressing the unique human being I am into the world? Am I following my intuitive flashes? Am I joyfully serving others with my special gifts? From January 8th through 25th, with Mercury reversing through Capricorn, contemplate these questions. Am I living my life maturely and responsibly? Am I using my time well? Am I serving others as a wise elder? Am I getting enough alone time? Am I working too much or perhaps too little? As always, try to avoid making major purchases or signing critical contracts during any Mercury retrograde. If you do, significant repairs or adjustments may be needed down the road. Make sure you're communicating clearly, back up critical data, and double-check travel arrangements. Mercury retrograde is an excellent time for reflection and contemplation. This can be focused on life in general, the sign Mercury is transiting, or the natal points Mercury is aspecting in your chart. Mercury retrograde is also great for completing projects already started and making necessary repairs. Also, on Tuesday, January 5th, a Sun-Pluto conjunction, both planets around 15 Capricorn, can make you feel like a snake shedding its skin or a caterpillar transforming into a gorgeous butterfly. The more you release everything that has outlived its usefulness, the more you'll be free to blossom into the next wonderful version of yourself. The more you follow your inner guidance, the more you'll embody a magnificent divine power beyond your wildest dreams. The Sun and Pluto are coming together in Capricorn. This can fuel tremendous accomplishment in the physical world. Resist the urge to dominate and control others, and strive instead for win-win outcomes. And another event on Tuesday, January 5th, You may be bubbling over with inspired creativity as Venus squares Neptune. That's Venus at 8 Sagittarius and Neptune at 8 Pisces. This aspect can also soften the boundaries between you and other people, as well as the connection between you and your divine self. With Venus in Sagittarius, be bold and adventurous in your relating and creating. Another event yet, on Tuesday, January 5th, you may feel a strong urge to speak your mind with Mercury square Mars. That's Mercury 1 Aquarius, Mars 1 Scorpio. Try to do so with consideration and respect, since this aspect can lead to verbal sparring and arguments. High side uses include intellectual breakthroughs and learning about unconventional subjects. On Wednesday, January 6th, would you like to feel a deeper soul connection in your committed partnerships? A Neptune-Juno trine makes it a lot easier. And this doesn't have to be in a romantic context. You can feel a blissful connection with anyone willing to meet and softly hold your gaze. Juno's placement in Scorpio, the sign of blending energies with others, makes this aspect particularly strong. But trines are lazy and never do all the work themselves. The more effort you put into this connection opportunity, the more rewards you'll reap. On Thursday, January 7th, after conjoining Pluto on January 5th, the Sun squares Uranus. That's the Sun at 17 Capricorn and Uranus at 17 Aries. This Uranus-Pluto connection energizes revolutionary transformation, especially in the areas of business and accomplishment. Unto itself, the Sun-Uranus square urges you to let your freak flag fly, even if it means disappointing those who love you. Muggles will never understand what it means to be a wizard, so don't expect them to. Pay special attention to your gut feelings and serve others with your special talents in the way that most delights you. To the degree that you don't do these things, you may experience challenging electrical phenomena. These include agitation, anxiety, nervousness, and irritability. Get on board with the high side of Uranus, and it will bother you less on the low side. Also, on Thursday, January 7th, Jupiter is retrograde today. That's Jupiter at 23 Virgo through May 9th, where it ends up at 13 degrees 15 minutes Virgo. This 4-month period is good for reflection on faith, religion, and your philosophy of life. Think about how you might benefit from foreign travel or exposure to other cultures. Also consider whether there's enough celebration and euphoria in your life. With Jupiter backpedaling through Virgo, contemplate whether you're happy with the service you're offering to others. Are you getting as good as you give? Would you like to improve your health? And are there ways in which you could improve your systems and procedures? On Friday, January 8th, write yourself a reality check on your relationships with Venus conjunct Saturn, both planets at 12 degrees Sagittarius exactly. This aspect can help you see the state of your relationships more clearly and objectively. Challenges may flare up in problematic relationships, while healthy partnerships can dig an even deeper and more stable foundation. Sagittarius's expansive nature is a perfect counterbalance to Saturn's love of contraction. This Venus-Saturn conjunction can provide a very productive energy for relating and creating. As noted in my Mercury retrograde interpretation above, on January 8th also, Mercury backpedals into Capricorn today. The messenger planet will turn direct on January 25th at around 15 Capricorn, and then will return to Aquarius on February 13th. I'm going to repeat a little bit of what I said earlier about Mercury in Capricorn to save you from having to back up and watch it again. So, with Mercury in Capricorn, contemplate these questions. Am I living my life maturely and responsibly? Am I using my time well? Am I serving others as a wise elder? Am I getting enough alone time? Am I working too much or too little? Mercury in Capricorn supports productive thinking, so you should emerge with some helpful insights. Also, on Friday, January 8th, healing and mentoring are smoothly energized by a Sun-Chiron sextile. Sun 18 Capricorn, Chiron 18 Pisces. With the Sun in Capricorn, you can get a lot accomplished in these areas. On Saturday, January 9th, the first new moon of 2016 lines up at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's at 19 degrees 13 minutes Capricorn. If I didn't already say it, that's Saturday, January 9th. Any Capricorn new moon is great for kicking off or amping up the Capricornian qualities already highlighted in this forecast. Once again, those are maturity, responsibility, and time management, being the wise elder, getting enough alone time, maintaining a healthy work-life balance. The outstanding feature of this lunation is that the luminaries conjoin Pluto and square Uranus. This can create a dynamic tension between the Capricornian urge to maintain the status quo and the Uranus-Pluto insistence on revolutionary transformation. However, these energies are perfectly capable of getting along. The key is to go ahead full steam with a revolutionary transformation that serves your highest good, while letting Saturn manage the details of how you carry it out. This new moon is a great time to look at the house cleaning on all levels that would serve you. Unburden yourself by finding new homes for all the possessions that don't significantly contribute to your life. Release stagnant or toxic relationships or minimize contact. Most importantly, identify the habitual thoughts and ways of being that are holding you back. This new moon is a fantastic time to blossom into the next magnificent incarnation of yourself. Now, this new moon is conjunct Pallas Athena, which can give you plenty of juju for feminine assertiveness and strategic planning. There's also a loose conjunction to Mercury, which can energize your learning and communication. Soft aspects to Jupiter and Chiron amplify higher level learning, healing, mentoring, and celebration. A hidden choir singing during a religious service is this lunation's Sabian symbol. To me, this represents the inner voice of wisdom that abides within each of us. Although it can be easier to hear in a ceremonial context, its sweet music is always playing in the background. Take time to tune into your own hidden choir through meditation, invocations, prayer, ritual, nature time, whatever gets you there. This music is more beautiful than anything your human ears will ever hear. Once you experience the harmony, ease, and flow it brings, you'll want it as your background music 24/7. Also, on Saturday, January 9th, the only aspect pattern in the first half of January is a T-square featuring Venus, Jupiter, and Chiron. It begins on January 9th, peaks on January 16th, and ends on January 22nd. Its main job is to spotlight any dysfunctional relationship patterns so they can be healed. Venus's placement in Sagittarius emphasizes the need for individual freedom within partnership. It also invites you to be adventurous in exploring how your relationship can expand and transform. This will allow it to accommodate the ever-changing individual energies of you and your partner. Venus is also the planet of the artist, so this T-square strongly supports creative expression. It also energizes creative mentoring and the final polishing of your creative babies as you launch them into the world. Also, on Saturday, January 9th, enjoying fresh inspiration in your sacred sexuality is one yummy way to use a Mars-Pluto quintile. Mars, 3 Scorpio, Pluto, 15 Capricorn. Fresh insights are also available in the areas of leadership, pioneering, and assertiveness. Nothing to report on Sunday, January 10th or Monday, January 11th. On Tuesday, January 12th, a Venus-Uranus trine, that's Venus 17 Sagittarius, Uranus 17 Aries, can guide your relating and creating by popping in the intuitive flashes you need. Both Venus's placement in Sag and her smooth connection to Uranus support taking an unconventional approach to your relationships and artistry. On Wednesday, January 13th, you can enjoy a smooth flow of steady Eddie productivity with the Capricornian Sun trine Jupiter. That's the Sun at 23 Capricorn and Jupiter at 23 Virgo. Also, on Wednesday, January 13th, today's Venus-Chiron square is part of the Venus-Jupiter-Chiron T-square that I already interpreted. On Thursday, January 14th, retrograde Mercury makes 2 aspects today, a Sun-Mercury conjunction, both planets around 24 Capricorn, and a Mercury-Jupiter trine. That's Mercury 23 Capricorn, Jupiter 23 Virgo. This strongly amplifies learning and communication. With the Sun and Mercury in Capricorn, business communication, mental focus, and creative expression all receive flowing support. On Friday, January 15th, nothing to report. Time to look ahead to what's on our next show. We'll have what's up on our next show in just a second. I have some very brief announcements, unusually short actually. I was hoping to have my Basque program, Benjamin's Awakening Support Kit, relaunched as EASE, the Embodied Awakening Support Experience, but I'd have to make a few little tweaks, taking a little longer than I thought. My hope is that by my next video for mid-January, I'll be able to announce it proudly to you. And if you subscribe to my Astro Shaman newsletter, you'll hear about it before then when it actually goes live. One last reminder on my 2016 full year astrology forecast video, also here on YouTube. It's going to be a dynamic year. Astrological highlights include a Saturn-Neptune square, empowering law of attraction and embodied awakening, energized by several hard aspect patterns. We've got the seemingly endless Uranus-Pluto square and its hard aspect patterns, all encouraging revolutionary transformation. We got wealth-promoting Jupiter-Pluto grand trines, an extraordinary asteroid goddess's kite, an almost Star of David, paradigm-shifting Jupiter-Uranus aspects, and much more. So check out my 2016 full-year forecast video on YouTube to learn all about that. It's almost 2 hours long. Plenty of great information and great graphics, including animation for the first time. So if you haven't already watched that, check it out. So what will we be talking about on the mid-January forecast? Mercury turning direct, that T-square with Venus, Jupiter, and Chiron reaching its peak. We'll have a full moon in Leo, the sun entering Aquarius. Mercury in sequence will be squaring Uranus, conjoining Pluto, and squaring Uranus because he's turning direct again. And we're going to have Venus squaring Jupiter, conjoining Capricorn, and sextile Neptune, Mars trine Neptune. We got a lot of juicy stuff to talk about, folks. So please join me. As always, I will be here giving you the best use of these various astrological energies. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my Benjamin Bernstein YouTube channel to be notified when I post new videos. And if you like this video, please share it. This free video forecast is a partner project with iTunes' #1 astrology podcast, This Week in Astrology. It's also free. You can get my semi-monthly astrology forecast in writing by subscribing to my free email newsletter at astroshaman.com. Once you're there, you can also link to my Facebook page where I post daily forecasts. My personal services include astrology, shamanic healing, and awakening activation. All are equally effective in person or long distance. My guarantee makes my services risk-free. If you don't feel that your experience was helpful, there's no charge, although I must admit that hasn't happened in a very long time. I also offer other great products and services, many of which are free. To learn more, visit astroshaman.com. Thanks again for watching. I wish you infinite blessings as the stars light your way.